Biggie deals the Super Bowl. It is officially Super Bowl week. Seahawks, Patriots live from Santa Clara in San Francisco on Sunday. Seattle open as 3.5-point favorites, been bet up to 4.5, stayed steady there for the last week. Point total set at 45.5. That game will be at 3:30 on Sunday. And the Aztecs drop one to Utah State over the weekend, despite having a late lead. They'll be back at Viejas tomorrow night, taking on Wyoming. That game will be at 8 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie deals at $4, $6, and $8. The new Biggie deals are bigger and biggier than ever for a pretty Biggie deal. Got to be Wendy's. U.S. price participation may vary.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
I like other guys.
Sound off like you got a pair.
We begin Super Week. Counting down to the fight for the Lombardi in Santa Clara. New head coaches in Arizona and Las Vegas.
Arizona. You know, it was really pretty clear that Mike LaFleur of the Rams was the next option for them. They wanted to go offense.
Reaction to the new hires coming up. Justin Rose dominates at Torrey Pines.
The 36-hole, 54, 72-hole scoring record. The fact I think I was able to kind of extend my lead each day is something that obviously as a player I'm proud of.
And Padres spring training is just days away. Plus,
Alcaraz going to win the Australian Open.
Well done, sir.
Teofimo Lopez to beat upset Shakur Stevenson.
Nope.
I like Alexander Volkanovski just to win.
It's true.
I like Kansas Jayhawks to win -4.5, covering the spread at Allen Fieldhouse.
I know it's true.
Please welcome a true American hero.
6 days until,
well, you know, but we can't say it.
Is that legal?
so we'll head into the studios of San Diego Sports 760 to get into the Fletch Zone.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to take over then. And, man, it's here. It is finally here. It's a battle that began in late August, and it's led us all the way up here to early February. It's Super Bowl week, baby.
When Jalen Carter spit on
That's right.
with Dak Prescott, that was night one. Maybe we'll see something like that on Sunday. That should be a prop bet.
That should be.
Who gets spit on Super Bowl Sunday?
Not that we were planning on starting the show like this, but there's been a couple of spit gates this year in the NFL. Remember Jamar Chase spit on that guy at one point?
Yes. Jamar Chase, that makes sense, though.
Yeah, Jamar Chase just needs to get out of Cincinnati. All right, before we get going anywhere, we are going to talk a bunch of Aztecs today. We do have a very cool giveaway from an artist you may not have heard of yet, but I promise you should look him up on YouTube. Coulter Wall is a country singer. He's going to be at Gallagher Square at Petco Park on February 20th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. If you haven't heard him sing, it's like getting in a time machine and going back to like the 1950s in the wild, wild west. Because, man, Coulter Wall, he has one of the earthiest, deep voices you've ever heard. His song Kate McKinnon is the one to look up if you want to check him out. But Coulter Wall, we got tickets for his show coming up on February 20th. Ticketmaster.com to buy tickets. Keep on listening for your chance to win. That Aztecs game over the weekend, Torrey Pines had San Diego in a beautiful light and records were broken. We will get into it all here over the course of the next couple of hours, but I am going to start by saying this and this only. Sammy Long, are you ready to have a great show?
Hell yeah, brother.
I said, are you ready to have a great show?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get it going. How was your weekend, Sammy?
Oh, it was good. I what'd I do? Drank and watched sports. Did a little show on Saturday on our sister station 570.
Sure, I saw you on Saturday morning bright and early.
We did a little boxing show in the morning on AM 570, which was fun. And then I watched a little bit of the Grammys. Very underwhelmed.
Very long. Those like 4.5 hours.
Like, first off, I started watching
like a baseball game pre-pitch count.
When Addison Rae got up there and was so bad, she was lip singing. Like, we know she has no musical talent, but then you thought that maybe lip singing she might be a little bit better. It didn't get better.
She got famous because of TikTok dances, and she's not a very good dancer.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, let's stop making TikTok stars musicians.
And then poor Cher. We just put Cher out there, and of course she struggles. She starts talking about Luther Vandross, who wrote One Shining Moment instead of Kendrick Lamar. That's elder abuse, man. Be nice to Cher.
The only part that I really liked about that was the Ozzy tribute.
Ozzy tribute was badass. Youngblood and Post Malone.
In the Slash. Duff McKagan, Chad Smith. How about you? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. I was feeling a little sick at times, but I was here for the Aztecs game, got through that broadcast, watched the new Ben Affleck, Matt Damon movie.
I watched that too.
Thought it was very good.
Fantastic.
I had a lot of fun. What's that called? The Rip.
The Rip.
The Rip. If you haven't seen it yet, excellent movie. It's on Netflix. Pretty cool. They're also doing, if you if they hit a certain amount of streams on Netflix, the entire production crew of that movie gets bonused out, which I think is badass, and it's the way things should work.
Yeah, they're like getting paid on the back end of it, which is pretty cool.
Usually it's just the actors and the directors who get paid on the back end, but this time it's everybody from the camera people to the direction assistants. It's very cool what they're doing, but it's also just a really good movie. It's a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun was how Saturday's game finished up for San Diego State, the Aztecs. Man, they had it. They really did, and it would have been a huge road win for San Diego State. It would have been one of those metric buoys that could have really propped them up come the end of the season. It was a 10 a.m. prime time college basketball, excellent national TV window, just a great opportunity for San Diego State. And they had the win. You felt like it was there. A couple calls go against them in the last few minutes. Utah State makes some big shots. San Diego State misses some big shots. I'm not going to put this on the referees because if San Diego State would have hit their shots, they probably would have won that game. But my God, BJ Davis fouling out on a phantom foul. And then Templin, the kid for Utah State, who had an excellent game. He had like 18 points. But the flop that he pulled in the final couple minutes of that game was some excellent acting, man. He could have won an Oscar for that. And the refs fell for it. So bad breaks went the Aztecs' way. They didn't make the big shot when they needed to. And Utah State gets that win. And San Diego State now is in a situation. I actually don't think they dropped at all metrically. They were projected to lose by 6. They lost by 5. But they are in a situation where now, no matter what, you have to beat Utah State on your home court, which isn't a great situation to be in. You have to essentially hold serve at home, I would say, and you're going to have to pick up a win at Boise State, at New Mexico. And then there's one more road game, New Mexico, maybe. Did I just say that? You're going to have to pick up one of these tough road games that's coming very soon.
It was a tough game. So the Aztecs were dog going in the game. I believe it closed at like 7.5 point favorites for Utah State. So they weren't expected to win. Now, great first half. I mean, really, well, first off, ugly first 6 minutes both ways offensively.
Hideous. There was like 2 points scored apiece in the first 5 minutes of that game.
I mean, that if you had the under, you were feeling very good about that game. But then Aztecs really kind of got into some of their set plays, kind of settled down, and which was surprising because you thought Utah State at home might do that first. Then Utah State makes the run at the end of the first half, and you're going, it's tied. Maybe Utah State kind of opens this thing up. And then credit to the Aztecs for building another lead in the second half. But then it felt like when things were going wrong, and they had that 4 to 5 minute stretch there where they didn't score, they had a scoring drought. Reese and Waters had a big game with 19. Bird, you struggle a little bit, went 3 for 12 from the field, but Bird's also been the reason why they've been winning these games recently. So I'm not going to jump on Miles Bird, but it feels like the bench didn't give the same production that they had been giving, especially at home. And there's like this discrepancy of who's taking the last shot. It's like the amount of talent the Aztecs have kind of works against them in tough moments at the end of games because Miles Bird can make a case to take the last shot. Reese and Waters, like BJ Davis fouled out, but BJ Davis at times has been one of the most consistent players during the whole season. Elsie Harrington, there's a lot of guys that can make that claim to take the last shot. And I feel like it kind of hurts them at times because there's too much ball sharing instead of when you haven't scored for 4 minutes, someone needs to just go get a bucket and get an easy bucket and kind of reset the whole thing. I feel like it's hurt the Aztecs at times this year, and this was the first time it hurt them in a close game.
Yeah, it is a bummer. They had that win wrapped up, and it felt like a bunch of things went against them, and maybe that's one of them. Our buddy Rich on YouTube saying Carson Templin spent more time on his back than on his feet in this game. Plus, what did Taj do to deserve a technical foul? All right, so in the first half, there was 3 T's called. The Farrell Compton one, it kind of went unnoticed because it was a double technical on both teams, but then the Taj DeGorville one. So I've went back and watched the video a couple times because I'm trying to figure it out too. Taj must have said one of the magic words that's an automatic technical because it wasn't a demonstrative action at all. He just kind of looked back after he made a really nice runner in the corner. And I don't know if he said something to the ref or one of the Utah State players, but Taj got teed up in the first half. It seemed very soft to me, very, very soft for a technical foul. In that environment, tensions were high, emotions were high. It was a very chippy game, lots of back and forth shoving between both teams. And you felt like San Diego State had a chance to steal one, which is exactly what Dutch was saying before the game, that this would have been stealing one on the road. And they came up short. So now that's 0-2 in the big road matchups in Mountain West. Grand Canyon, you lose that one. You lose the one against Utah State. And then you won the one at Nevada, which is going to end up being huge. Even though we didn't think Nevada was that great coming in, they were really good. So for San Diego State, they're in a good spot still, 43-45 in KenPom and the net. I haven't looked at bracketology yet today. I would imagine they've probably bounced out. They were a 10 seed coming into the Utah State's game. So we'll see on that, but still got some time to go. That's barely the halfway point of the regular season. And we'll see if San Diego State can pick up some big road wins on the other side. All right, let's get to the big three here of our number one. If you want to watch the show, jump in on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. Sammy, go ahead, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
Coworkers?
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
And Jay Silds on YouTube saying it wasn't a technical on Taj. We just couldn't see or hear what was said. He must have said one of the magic words. That's an automatic T. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But it was a very nonchalant technical foul that absolutely swung momentum in the game. All right, Sammy, what's up?
All right, we're going to get to Luis Ariz and the Padres coming up in the next segment.
Come on, man. What are we doing?
Is it all that bad?
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't.
We'll get to that in a few minutes. But Super Bowl week is here. Big game on Sunday. Though, what team looks worse? Darnold, the Jets giving up on Darnold, or the Vikings giving up on Sam Darnold?
It's got to be the Vikings, right? I mean, the argument for the Jets is that they just can't develop a person. And, like, this quarterback was there the whole time, and they just couldn't figure it out. But Sam Darnold wasn't good with the Jets either. Sam Darnold was excellent with the Minnesota Vikings. He was an MVP candidate through 15 weeks of the season. He led them to 14 wins. The Vikings look worse in this situation because the Vikings had essentially the same team this year with a different quarterback, and they couldn't even sniff the postseason. So the Vikings look worse.
The Vikings, in terms of they're a contending team, or could have been a contending team, it's like you give up on Darnold so easy. It feels like it was simply because J.J. McCarthy was drafted and ownership was like, this is our guy. It's going to look bad if we wasted a first-round pick on a quarterback. Then we realized that Darnold actually completely overperformed expectations. It became that guy. It's like they succumbed to the media. It was like if they really looked at it, and they were watching, McCarthy in the preseason and practice before he got hurt in the preseason. Darnold, I'm assuming, because we saw J.J. McCarthy play this year, was the better player. But it feels like management, this was the GM going, we're not going to look bad. GM, who, by the way, just got fired. We're not going to look bad and look like our first-round draft pick. We can't scout and develop, so we're going to get rid of Sam Darnold. The Vikings look horrible for this. Justin Jefferson already called the team out, talking about how if they had Darnold this year, they probably would have been a pretty solid team. But the Jets, though, I think the point there is just because you get high draft picks every year, like it's amazing. Like Cleveland, New York, all these teams that are perennially at the top still can't get it right. And then when they do get it right, they get it wrong because people had thought Sam Darnold was a bust, was done, could not play the game of football. And now he's starting in the Super Bowl for the Seahawks and looks like it could be the start of a little bit of a run for Seattle. So the Jets, both teams look awful. There's also another team that had him as a backup that we won't get into, but you know what that team
are they supposed to do, Sammy? I know what you're talking about, the Niners, and that's fine. And of course, I'm just pissed over here because there's a giant poster of Sam Darnold sitting outside the 49ers stadium right now. But it is what it is. We ride with Brock.
Luka and the Lakers dropped in the Garden last night, 112-100 at the hands of the New York Knicks. Luka says after the game, the Lakers are, quote, in a good spot. They got a great group, but they still have work to do. Trade deadline is Thursday. How far do you think this Lakers team can go as currently constructed?
Not very far as currently constructed. They could win a postseason series or two, but I did find myself thinking yesterday, why aren't the Lakers better? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you trade for maybe the best player in all of basketball. He's on your team. He's playing fantastic. Why aren't the Lakers better? And it does kind of fall to the fact that you traded for a guy who, yes, Luka Doncic is incredible, maybe the best basketball player on the planet. However, he doesn't play on one side of the court. His defense has gotten better since he joined the Lakers, but it doesn't really make sense to me yet, as LeBron is still playing some good basketball at 41 years old. You have Luka coming in. You have two of the top, 15 players in all of basketball on your team still? Mm-hmm. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And you're not even really thought of seriously as a championship contender this year? It's a little confusing to me.
Well, it's because it's supporting cast.
Right, but have they gotten worse since trading for Luka?
Well, no. You mean like the Lakers?
Yes.
No. I mean, Luka's...
Have they stayed the same?
Luka's... I mean, maybe. We'll see. They didn't have a center last season. They haven't stayed the same. The future of the franchise is in a completely different direction. The Lakers if Nico Harrison didn't trade Luka to the Lakers, would have went for about 6 to 7 years where they were one of the worst teams in basketball because LeBron is 41 years old. Then you have Anthony Davis, who no star was coming to play alongside Anthony Davis because he's always hurt. It doesn't show him big moments. So they changed the direction of the franchise. It's this weird limbo state where you have LeBron, who's still playing at an extremely high level, but because of the way the roster is constructed with two massive salary players, and they haven't really been able to outfit the team, the supporting cast around Luka and LeBron, it's this odd where Reeves obviously hasn't been there. He's coming back this week. They can outscore anybody, but they don't have elite level defenders to get it done. Currently constructed, I think they can win one playoff series. That's about it. Maybe two if there's a matchup play and they kind of get a luck of the draw. This team does not play enough defense to go win a championship. If they get a couple 3-and-D defenders and a center and DeAndre Ayton steps up his game, they could be something. But I really think Lakers management, ownership are signaling this is Luka's team going forward, and we're not going to sell off a bunch of draft picks. One's available to be traded now. 3 become available in the offseason. They're not just trading away draft picks and assets to appease LeBron when it feels like the Anthony Davis trade has hamstrung this team for about a decade plus.
So do they make a move this week?
I think it'll be a fringe move. They're going to make a move for a guy that is young, has some talent, but I don't think they're going to make a move that is going to be game-changing where the Lakers are sitting there towards the top of the Western Conference.
And they probably should. They should make a move for the next 5 years, not just for this year. All right, Sammy, you got one more?
Yep. So over the weekend, the Cardinals hire Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur. The Raiders are expected to go for Clint Kubiak after the Super Bowl wraps up. What do you make of those hires, especially Kubiak to the Raiders? Do you think he can contend in that division with Mendoza?
I do like both hires. I really do. I would like to point this out because this is one of the most impressive things I've seen in a long time. Everybody who has worked as an offensive coordinator under Sean McVay since he got hired as the Rams head coach has gone on to be a head coach. Now, it's just kind of impressive what that tree is becoming throughout the NFL. Now, the Kubiak thing is interesting. So obviously Seattle's offense with Geno Smith looked okay, right? And then it comes and it transforms into the Sam Darnold offense, which was a juggernaut all year long. Here's what I like about Kubiak's style is, Sam Darnold had a really good year. He's a run-first coordinator, man. And you kind of feel like that's what you need with Mendoza coming in. Yeah, you want to develop him, but this is going to be a very Ashton Jeanty running back combo sort of force-fed offense that Kubiak's going to bring in, and it's a power run offense. I think it's good for the division. I think it's good for a rookie quarterback to have that to lay back on, and hopefully he's good at developing QBs too.
The Cardinals in the LaFleur job, that feels like the Cardinals felt like the least attractive job of any head coaching opening because they didn't necessarily have the elite draft capital. They have good draft capital, but not like a Browns or a team like that is literally picking toward the top. And you have the whole Kyler Murray situation. So LaFleur, I think, is a fine hire. I think it's a safe hire out there in Phoenix. They can get excited about it, but I don't know that in that division, certainly you're dealing with the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Niners. They're going to finish 4th next year. But Kubiak's interesting. It's a good hire because there's talent. It's an offensive hire, which I like. So you got Mendoza, Genty, Bowers. I'm sure if you're a Raider fan, you're pissed off they traded Jacoby Myers because he looked like he could have been something. After he went to Jacksonville, he kind of became a star. But there's a lot to work with there. That job is so weird, though, because I think the Raiders' job, if it was in, say, the NFC South, would have been maybe the most attractive in the entire sport because there is a lot of young talent. It's a tall task when you come into a division with Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and Jim Harbaugh with Mahomes, Herbert, and then whatever you think about Bo Nix. Like it's a tough division to crack, though I do think the Raiders will be interesting next year, and it is a good hire for Fernando Mendoza.
How about the disrespect on Bo Nix there? If Bo Nix was starting the AFC Championship game, I think the Denver Broncos are in the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, but do we think
with a shot to win it?
New England's all that impressive as an opponent?
No, I don't. But if Bo Nix was healthy, they'd probably be in the Super Bowl. And he outplayed Josh Allen in that game. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We're going to take a quick break here on the other side. Let's get into it. The Padres, moves are happening around them, but we haven't seen much from them. That's next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. And we got 13 chances today for you to win $1,000 every weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Listen for your keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 1 o'clock. Hey, before we get to the Padres, did you see what Chappell Roan was wearing last night?
Yeah, the nipple thing,
that,
the piercing.
That was a bizarre little outfit. I didn't even know that was legal.
I was telling Malcolm in the station here. I was like, "Dude, you guys got to grow up on like the MTV Music Awards?
Yeah,
like you know how like that was like." I'm not gonna get into it. They were like real musicians. I'm not trying to say like even like rap now. Like I love rap now, and they don't even give it to like the rap artists who are popular. They give it to. It's such like, listen, if I was like an 18-year-old white girl, I would love the Grammys.
I think that's who they're targeting. Sam.
Exactly.
And for that's why Addison Rae was on the stage. Now, Bad Bunny,
Sunday
album of the year. Andy's doing the halftime show. I think Bad Bunny's cool, man.
No, I'm not hating on Bad Bunny.
He's got some swag. You know who's hating on Bad Bunny? Travis Dale. That
makes so much sense.
He said, you can't understand any of his music. Why is he winning a Grammy?
Wow. No, Bad Bunny's got some hits, man. I was, yeah.
I'm excited for his halftime show.
I think Bad Bunny will put on a good halftime show.
I don't really know his music at all.
Me pregunto.
Let's see. But I'm kind of excited to see what stage setup he has and what the dancers look
People
like.
forget every year that the Super Bowl halftime show is not meant for dudes. Like everyone thinks that.
It's a great point.
Everyone's like, oh, put Metallica up there. Like they know dudes are watching.
Meant for dudes, Foo Fighters would have done it like 5 years in a row.
Exactly. Foo Fighters even have some crossover value. Like there's a reason why The Weeknd and Bad Bunny, because women are gonna watch.
Jay Silves, name a Bad Bunny song. I don't think I could.
You know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna go to Apple Music Essentials. I literally had this looked up. There's like a whole thing of Bad Bunny getting you ready for the Super Bowl.
Weird. I only use the iHeartRadio app for music. That's just me.
Oh yeah. I forgot. Oh yeah. Only listen to iHeart.
All right, Padres. So I don't know if everybody saw the news, but Luis Ariz is heading up to the Bay Area. He is the newest San Francisco Giant. So you look around the NL West, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sammy, but the Diamondbacks have made some moves. Their team's gotten better, and more importantly, they're going to be healthier going into this upcoming season.
Nolan Arenado joining the team.
Sure.
Now, question marks about whether he's still reliably good, but still a good ad.
Still good ad. You got the Dodgers, who I don't think they did anything this offseason. Oh, wait, they got Kyle Tucker, maybe the best closer in baseball. Besides Mason Miller, I will give Mason Miller the edge. And then the Giants just added a career plus 300 hitter who led Major League Baseball a year ago in strikeouts from the hitting position, like in a good way, like struck out the least. And everybody's getting better.
Do you think, though, real quick, like let's just say in Fantasyland, the Padres had a bunch of money. Would you have re-signed Luis Ariz?
I think so. 1 year, 12 mil. Yeah, I think so. 1 year, 12 million is not breaking the bank for anybody.
It's hard with Ariz because it's like, theoretically he does something that would really work for the Padres because Fernando, Machado, Bogarts when he's obviously struggled, but when he's on, these are all power hitters. So theoretically having a guy who just puts the ball in play would be great for your lineup. Now, I think to be fair to Ariz, I think he got the brunt of a lot of criticism last year when maybe Machado and some of these guys weren't stepping up and it was easy to pin it on Ariz.
I think the team is worse because they don't have Luis Ariz. Which is what it ultimately comes down to.
But it also is hard paying a guy who has literally no home run power, and it puts even more pressure on guys like Fernando, Machado, and these guys that produce. Sure, but they're making the money.
1 year, $12 million. That's nothing.
Here's the thing with the Padres. The Padres, if they go get a starting pitcher, I think, to round out this rotation, there's going to be a lot of excitement going into the season. But to your point, the Dodgers, forget about winning the division. The Dodgers are going to win the division unless some catastrophic injuries happen. The Dodgers are absolutely stacked. Can you compare yourself to the Giants and the Diamondbacks? The Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll, Marte, all these guys are coming back, but their starting pitching staff is great. The big question mark for the Diamondbacks, their bullpen was ranked like 27th in baseball last year, and they did not get any better. The Giants, I don't know that Luis Ariz still puts them over the hump offensively, but they have a great pitching staff. The Padres have the best blend of all those teams after the Dodgers. But you have to get a pitcher because we keep talking about it. Joe Musgrove needs to be brought along slowly. He cannot be eating up bulk innings in the middle of July, throwing his arm out, because you're assuming that Nick Pivetta and Michael King are going to stay healthy for the entire season, which wasn't always the case last year.
I'd say we're also assuming that Preller's going to make a move, and I hope he does. There's still a few names out there. Chris Bassett's out there. No one that's going to be shocking, by the way, who's going to come in and eat up a million innings.
Framber Valdez would be the name that if that happened,
it's going to cost too much money.
But this is where's the clarity on the Yu Darvish news? Because the Yu Darvish news of them potentially voiding the deal puts the Padres in a different tax bracket where hopefully, fingers crossed, ownership is open to spending that money. But we know the Padres, that's not always the go-to.
No, I bet you the payroll is going to be similar to a little bit lower than it was a year ago, which would mean you're down to the Lucas Giolitos of the world, Chris Bassett, Zach Little. There's a few guys who are out there who you could bring in on the cheap and round out the rotation. And AJ Preller has shown like a propensity to doing this, and it's worked well over the years. So maybe he has another one for this season, but I think starting pitcher is the main thing. After that, we'll see how it goes. Hope springs eternal, baby. I do miss baseball.
I'm so for baseball, and the Padres are going to have a good team this year.
They're a playoff team, absolutely.
They're a playoff team. I think that if they don't make any moves, there's a limit to how far they can go. But it's kind of I think what's frustrating for a lot of people is because they have a lot of talent on the team. And to your point, I do think that they're a playoff team. It's what are you doing different this year that's going to get you over the hump? I still think the bullpen's elite. You have to get another starting pitcher. And you would think starting pitchers would want to come play in San Diego. Great weather, great city, great fan base.
Good pitcher's ballpark, too.
Good pitcher's ballpark. And knowing you have a great back end that's going to make you look good. In a Padre uniform, you only need to go 4 or 5 innings, and you can look really good.
Hell yeah, brother, because in a Padres uniform, you know you got a great back end. Am I right, Sammy?
Oh, my God.
Am I right?
Is this how we're starting off Super Bowl week?
Yep. It's San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. We got some Coulter Wall tickets for you coming up on the other side. Plus, we're going to get into this. You think about the Minnesota Vikings in the season they just had and how different it could have been. Well, one of the stars said something. We'll tell you what on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Lowe's. San Diego State loses 71-66 to Utah State on Saturday. They'll be back tomorrow night against Wyoming on the Mesa. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 8 o'clock with Schaefer on the call. And Fletch will get you going pregame starting at 7. The Lakers lose at the Garden to the Knicks last night, 112-100. They're going to close out the Grammy trip in Brooklyn against the Nets tomorrow night at 4:30. At Lowe's, Blueprint takeoffs turn your blueprints into quotes faster. Bring your plans to the Lowe's Pro Desk and get help streamlining the estimating process. Then when your order's ready, Lowe's delivers to the job site.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer's going to take over then. Hey, we got some Coulter Wall tickets to give away. He's going to be at Gallagher Square, Petco Park, coming up on February 20th. You can buy tickets at Ticketmaster.com or just keep hanging here for your chance to win them. Sammy, I don't have the text line pulled up, so maybe you can jump on there and see what's coming in. But on YouTube, we got our buddy Jay Silv saying, you mean Fletch's Giants? All right, come on. I grew up a 49ers fan. That I will not hide from. I would honestly say for baseball, I grew up in Central California. I was probably more of an A's fan because that was my first game.
A's, one of the coolest logos in all sports.
Sure. About to be the Las Vegas, Sacramento, Oakland Athletics.
Our very own Charles Newton, big voice guy. Massive A's fan.
But yeah, I grew up in the Barry Zito, Jeremy Giambi. Those were some fun days with the A's.
Does Moneyball make you cry when you see the movie?
Moneyball is a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Have you ever read the book?
No. Is it worth it?
It is. It's very, like, it almost feels like you have to do math in the middle of the book because it's very number focused. But it is, Sammy and I were having this conversation over the commercial break of like where you grow up and what impact that has on your sports watching as a kid. And like I grew up literally, if you took your finger and went to the center of California, a town called Merced is where I grew up. And you just got to pick whoever you were a fan of. And a lot of times it coincided with, well, where was your first game that you went to? So I vividly remember walking into the Oakland Coliseum for my first baseball game and watching the A's. And I want to say Jeremy Giambi was in the middle of one of his best seasons before the A's did the A's thing. And they just shipped him out of town right when he got good.
The Moneyball's the greatest, but the only problem with that movie that I have is they also did have like this unbelievable pitching staff.
Unbelievable.
That no one talks about. So like, yes, it theoretically was unbelievable. You got Hatterberg, like all these guys. You trade Giambi. So yes, it was an amazing feat. But also when you have like two superstar rookie pitchers, it changes things a little bit for you.
Like everyone talks about Billy being like he was a master of the numbers and making things work in a downtrodden, poor owner, fan base, whatever situation the A's had going. What he was really great at was drafting and developing and having a minor league system that was always near the top. And that's what he was great for, but that's not what he's known for. And so that's kind of just the funny part about the Oakland A's. But now they're the Las Vegas A's, so who cares? But all right, what we're talking, Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. Probably, if you were to ask 50 people who are diehard NFL fans who's the best wide receiver in football, you'd probably get split 25-25 with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is unreal. And he's maybe the one guy in this league who could step up and say something like this. And everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. He could absolutely do that. He said if Sam Darnold was a Viking this year, they would have been much better.
100%.
I mean, duh, first and foremost, but good for Justin Jefferson holding some feet to fire.
Well, good for him because also Justin Jefferson, we all know the receiver position has had a rep for having a lot of divas. And he has not been. He has been the good soldier. When JJ McCarthy was really struggling at points this year, and Justin Jefferson wasn't even getting the football. It was like Addison was having games, Hawkinson had a few games. His stats were taking a direct hit. If you didn't know anything about the NFL and you looked at Jefferson's stats last year, you'd have been like, oh, he's a middle of the pack receiver. We all know he's one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in football. And he stood by him and kind of hyped up McCarthy. But I'm sure if you are Justin Jefferson, you get rid of Kirk Cousins and say whatever you want about Kirk Cousins and not winning the big game and his primetime record. He gave his receivers a lot of stats. He had some massive 4,000-yard passing seasons. Then you go to Sam Darnold, a guy who wins you 14 games. And yes, does he choke against the Lions? Yes, does he choke against the Rams? But now you're looking a year later and he's starting in a Super Bowl in your conference. It's just Justin Jefferson. I wonder how long And I love Kevin O'Connell. He's a great head coach. And if he gets clipped, he's going to get a job somewhere else, San Diego State alum. I wonder how much longer he has, though. And I don't think it's his fault. I think it's more management for the fact that they drafted J.J. McCarthy and held his feet to the fire. But it's, I'm curious if Minnesota is a little bit of a fire sale next year if they're not good.
I'm curious what happens with Justin Jefferson this offseason. If there's a chance he might get moved before the draft. I don't know. These aren't comments that you hear from guys who are super stoked with their situation. And it's not like the Vikings have the opportunity to go right back in the draft this year and take a quarterback. It's not a great quarterback draft first and foremost. And you would imagine next year is going to have to suck for the Vikings in order to get what they want from the quarterback position.
Well, to that end, they feel a lot like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's like they have this great roster of Addison and Justin Jefferson, TJ Hockenson.
A really good defense.
Brian Flores, maybe one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. It's like you're going to win a decent number of games simply off that. But it's a McCarthy show. And if McCarthy comes out and struggles early, I don't know what happens there. But you never want to be in the middle in the NFL. It's crazy how Sam Darnold went from a bust. Him and Josh Rosen in that draft class were thought of as two washed up guys. Baker Mayfield to an extent too, at a certain point in his career. And Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson save him. And Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson are phenomenal players. But now Baker resurrected his career. And Sam Darnold at the age of 27 could be the start of a. I'm not saying it's a dynasty, but it could be the start of a perennial contending team in the NFC. It's just the NFL, the flip of the script so fast is unreal.
All right, 913 with some fun texts coming in. Says, don't forget the big game tailgate this week, boys. Gonna be epic. Yes, this Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. I think I have that right. Yes, 6 to 10 a.m. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, 1015 KGB. We're going to be broadcasting our show live from KMB Bistro in Del Cerro. And then right after that, starting at noon, this very show.
Yes, sir.
Fincher, Sammy Long, taking it on the road. We'll be at KMB. What do you remember our code word for me to buy people beers?
Josh Allen PR team.
Yeah, I got 5 beers to buy in me, and that's what you have to say. You have to come up and whisper it in Sammy's ear.
We might be doing shots with listeners.
I'm not doing any shots, but I will buy you a beer if you say Josh Allen's PR team in Sammy's ear real nice and seductively. Let's see, 760, Merced's full of meth heads and streetwalkers. Be nice to my family, 760. Yeah, we actually... Merced's a funny place, man, where I grew up. So we had a guy who, I hope he's still alive. I really do, but he would only walk backwards.
What?
He was a homeless man who lived in Merced who would hang out at the Arco, and he would only walk backwards. He never
Dude, you
walked
just
forward.
exposed his spot, man. What if he's still at the Arco?
I don't think so. I think he looked like he was maybe knocking on heaven's door when I still lived there. So I doubt he's still alive, but he would literally, everything he did in life, he was only walking backwards. He was great. We called him Backwards Joe.
He's like Michael Jackson. He's like moonwalking.
Exactly. He got a lot of tips because of it, or not tips. What's it called?
Donations.
Donations. Sure.
You know, there's a homeless dude in Kansas City that they did a whole article on Kansas City Star. He made $73,000 a year. He had a family in like a big house getting tips at this one spot in Kansas City. $73,000 a year. Fletch, you might be in the wrong business, dude.
We should go be homeless.
Go be panhandlers.
Let's do it. 913. Padres are Goodwill. Dodgers are Gucci. Unfortunately, it means no baseball in 2027. It is funny how we just have a front row seat to why there's going to be a strike and a lockout coming up here in just over a calendar year. It's going to be fun times, man.
Do you think if the Dodgers get beat, that changes?
No, I think that it's not the Dodgers' fault. They're taking advantage of what Major League Baseball has allowed, but what Major League Baseball's rules as currently constituted don't make for fair seasons heading into it.
Right.
I do think it's going to change, and it's going to probably require a lockout to change.
The rules of the sport need to change. I mean, we know that it's again, it's hard to blame the Dodgers. The Dodgers are doing what's legal technically. Right. So it's easy. They're the big bad enemy, and people don't like the Dodgers down here. But right, totally, there needs to be a salary cap, needs to be a salary floor. But yes, we should definitely enjoy all those 162 games that we get this year. Hopefully more for the Padres, because we don't think we're going to get it in 2027.
I was driving around Balboa Park area yesterday. My wife and I walked our dog around there for a little bit right after Justin Rose finished up winning at Torrey Pines. And as I was walking around, you could kind of like see Petco off in the distance. And it's a similar route I take to get to Balboa Park as I would to get to Petco Park. And I was like, damn, I miss baseball. And I had the thought, 2027, I'm going to really miss baseball because it's not going to be here. And that made me sad. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Spring training right around the corner, by the way.
Yeah.
Are you going to try to head out at all?
I am going to spring training.
Nice.
Are you going?
Well, it's going to depend on San Diego State. So my buddies all have a trip planned, but it'd be the first weekend of March Madness. which is to watch March Madness and go taking a couple spring training games. And so hopefully I'm not going to spring training, but if I am, it's going to be because the Aztecs don't make it to the March Madness tournament.
We're going to have a fun time out there.
So, all right, San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. Jay Silves, I will answer that question on the other side. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long. The Aztecs are coming back home tomorrow night. They got Wyoming at Viejas Arena. Pregame coverage get going at 7 o'clock. John's going to have the tip just after 8 right here on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. All right, before we get to long shots, a couple of YouTube chats coming in. Our guy Salvador saying, hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Saludos desde Tijuana.
Salvador.
Todos los días los escucho. Voyerve, I'm not sure. But I do think that means, what up, friends? How you doing? I listen in Tijuana every day.
Dude, Salvador. We gotta have a beer with Salvador.
Salvador, come on up on Friday, baby. We're going to take care of you over at KMB Bistro in Del Cerro, noon to 2. Big game tailgate, part 2. Jay Silves, how much did you pay for the parking at Balboa Park? That's such a hot topic right now in San Diego because for decades, Balboa Park parking has been free. My wife and I, when we were driving around yesterday, we were like, yeah, this does seem like a place you should pay for parking because every parking spot's full.
You're going to get canceled for that.
I know. People are going to hate me for it.
You should pay for parking at Balboa Park.
But also, we just park in the neighborhoods kind of behind it. We come in on the I guess, northeasternmost part of it, and there's a bunch of little neighborhoods right there. You can park it and then go walk around the park.
I was at the gym the other day, and I was watching this because it was on the TV right in front of me, and some very strong reactions both ways.
Pissed.
Like this woman broke down crying that they had to pay for parking, and then some guy was railing that they should have to pay for park. I was like,
here's where people are pissed, and I understand it because after the public backlash, all of a sudden the city's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have people pay for parking at Balboa Park. You spent $450,000 on the meters to put in at Balboa Park, so you might as well keep them at this point. We'll see, man. But it's it's a hot topic.
Ben Fletcher advocating against the poor of San Diego.
What? How did that happen? No, I'm just saying maybe I should have my own show on Kogo because I can do this political stuff. I know nothing, and that's a terrible idea. Kogo, don't hire me. All right, it is San Diego Sports 760. Hopefully, Sammy knows a little something about making some money. How do we do on the weekend?
We were so close. So
close. I know I screwed us with my trying to get greedy in the Lakers.
Yeah, you took the Wizards plus 8.5, which I told you not to do on Friday night.
You said if you were going to go one way, you would go that way.
No, I did not say that.
Yes,
I said to stay away. No.
Roll the tape.
Nope.
You said stay away first.
You said,
what about Wizards plus 8.5?
No.
You said that's the way I would go.
You are lying. I said I gave my parlay. You said Wizards plus 8.5. I said that's a stay away. I think the Lakers win the game, but I don't know if they backdoor cover because the Lakers don't play a lot of defense. You said, oh, well, it's a Friday and I'm going to party, so we're going plus 8.5. I am not responsible whatsoever for that one. Anyway, the parlay I put together, Carlos Alcaraz won the career Grand Slam. That came through for us. Volkanovski came through us. Kansas covered the spread. Late scare there by BYU, but they did cover 4.5. Unfortunately, I thought my boy Teofimo Lopez was going to show out against Shakur Stevenson at the Garden. That did not happen. Shakur Stevenson won 11 of 12 rounds, so I misled the San Diego betting public. Unfortunately, Teofimo Lopez did not bring it on Saturday.
Come on, big foe. Now, I have $10 each. Oh, New York and Miami to be Giannis's next team. How's that looking for me today?
New York and Miami.
I put 10 on each.
I like them. I'll tell you, I like the Miami one better than the New York one.
Good, because that one pays more.
The Miami is sneaky because I think if you are to trade to a team in the Eastern Conference, you're going to go, we don't want to help the Knicks because that's such a big brand, and they're going to dominate if they send him there. And I don't think they have the assets because of all the picks sent in the Mikal Bridges deal. I like Miami sneaky because Miami has a very good roster. Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Norman Powell, a lot of guys down there. Andrew Wiggins. They need a star. Interesting thought for Miami on Thursday.
All right, now I'm thinking this, Sammy. I think today we need to go kind of conservative, right? Today and tomorrow and the next day are about building up a bankroll for what's happening this Sunday because on Friday we're going to need to have the biggest long shots you've ever done for the Super Bowl. So why don't we go with a sure winner here today? You got any of those? You got any like boxers, who are about to take a fall or something? You can give us a for sure winner
on a Monday?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of big fights that happen on Mondays.
Dude, that's when the biggest fights happen, the underground fights that nobody knows about, but you can bet on.
I got NBA and college basketball parlay coming for you right now.
Sounds good. Go ahead, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Play that man his money.
with long shots.
What are we looking at?
College basketball. We won on Kansas on Saturday.
Sure
they covered
did.
4.5. We're going Texas Tech minus 4.5 today. Listen, I've watched the Kansas Jayhawks for a lot of my life. I think they lose this game tonight. You're coming off an emotional win, big win over BYU. Darren Peterson did not play most of that second half. It was kind of what led to BYU coming back in the game. Trey White, Tiller had a fantastic game with 21 against BYU. I think that was an emotional win, and the Jayhawks are about to probably go into the top 10 here. I think Texas Tech in Texas, tough place to play, always known for excellent defense down there in Lubbock. I think that they cover 4.5 against Kansas on that quick turnaround, considering it's only 2 days since Saturday.
They win and cover.
Well, yeah, that's what. If the favorite covers, then they have to win.
Duh. I mean, they win and they cover by more than 4.5 points.
Yes. All right, and then the NBA.
You can absolutely win without covering. What if they won by 2?
Okay,
all right, who's stupid in this situation?
We're gonna dump that. Never mind. All right, heading to the NBA. Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Minnesota.
Sammy.
Minnesota favored by 6.5. Point total at 229.5. We're gonna go under on this game. Okay, under 229.5 points in Timberwolves, Grizzlies. Back spasms for Anthony Edwards. He's a game time decision, so I like to get that price right now, even if he's playing. The problem with Minnesota right now, they have to surround Anthony Edwards with the right amount of pieces. Really, Dante DiVincenzo is one of the few guys getting it done around him, but otherwise it's a very defensively sound team with Jaden McDaniels and Randall and crew. And then on the other side, John Morant, he's been out. They're waiting until after the trade deadline. Jaren Jackson Jr. is questionable in this one, been dealing with a little bit of an injury. I think the under hits in this game because the leading scorer for Memphis will probably be Cedric Coward. Then we're going to the night matchup on NBC. 76ers, Clippers. Clippers favored by 1.5. Sixers are going to win this game outright. Okay, in LA against the Clippers. Now, the Clippers have been playing excellent basketball recently. They were not playing good basketball whatsoever to start the year. They were playing no defense whatsoever. Harden has taken his game to another level. Kawhi has been fantastic. Zubac has emerged as one of the kind of top-tier centers in the National Basketball Association. And there's some young guys off their bench that have some talent. But in this game alone, I think people are thinking that because the Sixers, Paul George is suspended for 25 days, that was the big breaking news on Saturday. The Sixers are the kind of team with Joel Embiid and with Tyrese Maxey, Edgecombe. They have the depth in Kelly Oubre. They have the depth to get after the Clippers. They can match up for the guards and the wings. I think they win this game outright. It's the first game of their West Coast swing because they're going to play Golden State, then the Lakers, then Phoenix. I think the Sixers kick it off with a big W against the Clippers. So Sixers winning the game outright tonight. They're 1.5 point dogs in LA. We're going under on Minnesota in Memphis, under 229.5 points in that game. And I think Texas Tech covers the spread tonight in college basketball against Kansas. Emotional win on Saturday night. Quick turnaround. I think they lose this one.
I like it. We're in.
Thank you, buddy.
We're going to win a bunch of money because of Sammy.
My going to the money lines, we've had success in the last week.
We have.
We've gotten very close.
Let's keep it rolling because we need to have a big bankroll going into Sunday where there's a pretty big game going down on Sunday. All right, text line 858. They should charge for parking at Balboa Park, but no more than $1 or $2 for the day. We just turned into a Kogo show, Sammy. You're welcome for that. 913. I'm fearful every time the Padres are going to face the Giants. Arise is going to go for 4 for 4 with 7 ribbies. Yikes. That does always seem to happen.
He always goes 4 for 4, but it's 4 singles.
Right, 4 singles and doesn't score. That did seem to be Luis Ariza's curse.
And Jay Silves did have a point. He did not hit very well with runners in scoring position last
he was
year.
Terrible with runners in scoring position. And you think about some of the big moments late in the Padres season, Luis Ariza was at the plate and didn't get it done. So I don't look. That's not a gut shot, right? It's not Fernando Tatis Jr. leaving the Padres, but it does stink, and they are better with Luis Ariza. I firmly believe that. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. Hour 2 next. Those Coulter Wall tickets we're giving away right now. If you want to go see the show, February 20th, Gallagher Square at Petco Park, call 877-767-4760. Caller number 9. You're going to see Coulter Wall at Gallagher Square. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Healthy Choice. Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl week is here. Seahawks, Patriots live in Santa Clara. Seahawks are currently 4.5-point favorites after opening as 3.5-point favorites. Point totals holding firm at 45.5. That game, of course, will be Sunday at 3:30. And former slugger for the Padres, Luis Ariz, has signed with division rival the San Francisco Giants on a 1-year, $12 million contract. For healthy, delicious food, you don't have to eat out. You can enjoy delicious meals from Healthy Choice like their Simply Steamers grilled chicken and broccoli Alfredo at home with tasty tender chicken, crisp veggies, and 28 grams of protein. It's what having it all tastes like.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Not like other guys.
Sound off like you got a pair.
We begin Super Week, counting down to the fight for the Lombardi in Santa Clara. New head coaches in Arizona and Las Vegas.
Arizona. You know, it was really pretty clear that Michael LaFleur of the Rams was the next option for them. They wanted to go offense.
Reaction to the new hires coming up. Justin Rose dominates at Torrey Pines.
The 36-hole, 54, 72-hole scoring record, the fact I think I was able to kind of extend my lead each day is something that obviously as a player I'm proud of.
And Padres spring training is just days away. Plus,
Alcaraz going to win the Australian Open.
Well done, sir.
Kefimo Lopez to beat upset Shakur Stevenson. Nope. I like Alexander Volkanovski just to win.
It's true.
I like the Kansas Jayhawks to win -4.5, covering the spread at Allen Fieldhouse.
I know it's true.
Please welcome a true American hero.
6 days until,
Well, you know, but we can't say it.
Is that legal?
so we'll head into the studios of San Diego Sports 760 to get into the Fletch Zone.
Hey, let's get it going here. It's hour number 2, San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John Schaefer is going to take over then. And I did want to start, like, we didn't talk about the Farmers Insurance Open at all in the first hour, but Justin Rose wins it from round 1 opening all the way through. He's actually the oldest player to ever do that since Rocco Mediate did it back in 2010. He also broke Tiger's record for low winning score at the Farmers Insurance Open. Tiger had it at -22 or -23, and Justin Rose finished up 24 under par. So congrats to Justin Rose, who's easy to root for, man. He's fun. If only he was an American, maybe we would have won the Ryder Cup this last year. But I do really like Justin Rose.
Who we got in the Waste Management this weekend?
That's where I'm wearing my shirt today because the Waste Management Open's coming up. If you want to check out YouTube, this was the bad boy they were giving out in 2022.
Can I just tell people who have never been, that is the craziest experience sporting event I've ever been to in my life.
It's the People's Open, Sammy. It's the People's Open. It's different. It's not golf, I wouldn't say.
No, it is a frat party on steroids.
And I love it, man. It's one of my favorite events to watch every single year. I love how they line it up to where it's like right before the Super Bowl. Everything about the Waste Management Open is so much fun. It'd be hard for me not to take Scotty Scheffler to win the Waste Management Open. Now, I was impressed with a lot of guys this weekend. You know, Joel Dahman, who we were talking about on Friday, he played excellent. He was like on the brink of losing his card status in the PGA Tour because he didn't play well at all last year. So he needed a couple of early season high finishes to be able to play for the rest of the season, and he did just that. That was impressive to see. I thought Siwoo Kim, who is just taking this league by storm now, is playing some incredible golf, but Justin Rose was just heads and toes above everybody else this weekend. So he gets the win. It would be really hard for me to put money on anybody not named Scotty Scheffler coming up this week in Arizona, though.
Yeah, I'm excited. Golf being back is always a blast, and this West Coast swing, I think people forget about it towards the end of the year because it's so obviously early with Palm Springs and then San Diego and Phoenix next week. But yeah, it's PGA Tour is a blast, man. Hopefully we get some. Koepka obviously really struggled this weekend, but like I hope because last year
he made the cut.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
But he made it to Sunday. That's something in its own right.
He literally was the last person in the cut.
He finished in the money.
So I know
Sammy.
you love Brooks Koepka.
He finished in the money.
You don't pay Brooks Koepka the amount he gets paid to go to live and then come back to finish not top 10.
In the money. He finished in the money, and it's his first tournament back. Give him some time.
Can you tell who Ben Fletcher's favorite golfer is?
Not even close, dude. It's always been Brooks. He's always been my favorite. Ever since he won those back-to-back U.S. Opens, man, he's incredible. But when you look at golf, this is the time of year where it starts to get really, really fun. Like the Farmers Insurance Open for years was always the unofficial, official start to the PGA Tour regular season, and then it continues with an excellent tournament this upcoming week with the Waste Management Open. Pebble's not that far around the corner. We got some fun golf coming up that we will be making boatloads of cash on. But right now it's time for the big three here of hour number 2, where Sammy rips through the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
I mean, coworkers.
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
About 858. Brooks has won the waste management in the past. Could be a sneaky good pick this week.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, Sammy.
I'm not hating on Brooks Koepka.
You're hating on Brooks Koepka. I don't like it.
I don't like you making excuses pretending like he had a good weekend. He did not have a good weekend.
Look, making the cut for his first time out, that's a good weekend. You take that.
Well, it shows you how poor the live golf play was.
That shows you how poor you are,
You
Sammy.
get back in the PGA Tour where the real big boys play.
That's his first tournament back.
I like Brooks
Golf is a
Koepka.
game of patience, Sammy.
I can't
give the guy a second to breathe.
I like Brooks Koepka a lot. I don't understand how you can say he had a good weekend. Brooks Koepka would not tell you he had a good weekend.
Of course not, but look how many people finished below him.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that we had number one in the Brooks Koepka fan club.
He finished
here.
under par at one of the toughest courses in the world.
Again, Brooks Koepka is held at a level of elite golfers. I'm not saying he might win the waste management. That's fantastic, and he's back towards the top. But he did not have a good weekend. Don't sit here and tell me Brooks Koepka came away a winner this weekend.
Brooks Koepka is fine. Don't worry about him. He'll be just fine. What's up, Sammy?
All right, Luis Ariz, talked about it hour 1. Headed to the New York Giants, division rival. If we put the Dodgers at 1, because I think it'd be a shock to everyone if they didn't win the division, who do you think should be the favorite to finish second right now? Diamondbacks, a lot of guys coming back. The Padres obviously have perennially been there. And then the Giants getting Luis Ariz. Who do you think should be the number 2 favorite for the division?
I do still think it's the Padres. I think it's still their spot to lose. I think they have more talent than pretty much anybody else, not named the Dodgers in the division. So I am going to take the Padres at number 2. But, man, it is a narrow gap between 2, 3, and 4. And then there's the Rockies. And those poor little Rockies all the way down in a distant 5th. But the NL West, there's a real shot they get 3 teams to the postseason this year. I would imagine the Padres are going to be one of the 3. But right now, if I had to rank them, it'd go Dodgers, Padres, D-backs, Giants, Rockies.
Okay, so Giants 4.
Yes.
But
again, 2 through 4, very, very close. Very, very close.
I think the Padres are they're obviously everyone's better than the Rockies. They're definitely better. I think
name every team in baseball. They're better than the Rockies.
The WBC Puerto Rico team is better than the Rockies.
Potentially.
No. But I think that I would put the Padres above the Giants right now, because I think even with the rise, listen, a big name, was a batting champ. Everyone who watched the Padres, like all of us daily last year, knows that Luis Ariz has a lot of flaws in his game. And sometimes his numbers can be, if you looked at it on paper, you're like, Luis Ariz, phenomenal player.
He got better defensively, but he's not a good defensive player.
He's not a good defensive player. He lacks power. Doesn't hit with runners in scoring position. There's some flaws there to his game. The Giants are going to find that out. I think the Padres are definitely better than the Giants. I'm going to lean Padres right now over the Diamondbacks. But the Diamondbacks, Corbin Burns coming back. You still got Merrill Kelly there. Obviously, Zach Gallen is a free agent after they traded him halfway through. I worry about the bullpen is a disaster for the Diamondbacks. It was 27th in baseball last year. It's going to be even worse this year. Hang around that. They didn't get much better. I think the Padres bullpen is still one of the best in baseball, despite losing Robert Suarez. I think guys like David Morgan probably didn't get enough opportunities last year simply because they were so good. The Padres have a lot of guys in the pipeline. This is contingent on them signing a starting pitcher. So I'm going to give it to the Padres. But if they go into the season with Joe Musgrove having to be one of the aces, he can be in terms of talent, but in terms of bringing him along due to injury, if they don't sign a starting pitcher, then I would lean Diamondbacks, but I think they will. So we're going to lean Padres right now.
619 texting in about Luis Ariz said the Padres letting him go seems so illogical. The job of Ariz on a team is to get on base. The guy hit .292 and .318 in his 2 years with the Padres. The cost production value of his contract at $12 million for a year seems like you would have to sign him. Sadly, it seems like another Padres move we will look back on and shake our heads. The only way that happens is if the Giants finish above the Padres, and in a couple of key games down the stretch, Luis Ariz kills the Padres. But I think most people are going to forget about him pretty quick.
Yeah, it certainly will be a storyline, especially whenever they play.
Especially if they just go into game-long slumps where they can't hit, and you need a guy to get a hit, to get on base, to kind of jumpstart the offense. That's what Luis Ariz is.
It's funny how you feel like the Diamondbacks, if you could combine the Diamondbacks and Giants, they would be an unbelievable team, because the Giants pitching staff And the starting pitching staff for the Diamondbacks is great, but the bullpen for the Diamondbacks is terrible. But then the Giants hitters, look, I get it's not a hitter-friendly ballpark, but it is surprising for an organization as famous and has won as much as the San Francisco Giants, they cannot attract more talent there.
It is crazy. They had like the best hitter of all time in baseball history.
Yeah.
Played in that ballpark for a bulk of his career, and it's not a hitter-friendly ballpark. It just shows you how great Barry Bonds really was and how great that juice he was pumping in his veins really was.
Let's go to the NFL. Les Snead and Sean McVay get extensions today. McVay said today at Super Bowl Media Day, he's fingers crossed Matthew Stafford returns. If Matthew Stafford returns, do you see the Rams as a favorite in the NFC next year, the favorite, or where do you see them in the picture?
If Stafford comes back, I feel exactly the same way about the Rams this year as I felt about them this past year. They are absolutely near the top among the best of the NFC and have an absolute shot to win a Super Bowl if Matthew Stafford returns. The signing of Sean McVay and Les Snead, I do feel like the Rams got out in front of this because Sean McVay didn't have to do that thing that he does where he flirts with retirement at the end of every year. They wanted to make sure this got done and over with before the Super Bowl even started, so we didn't have time to go down that rabbit hole. But how about the job Les Snead and Sean McVay have done with the Rams? Like, it wasn't that long ago the Rams were an afterthought, and now all of a sudden, I mean, they're building a little mini dynasty there as one of the best teams in the NFC. Perennial postseason.
Can we
team.
call that a dynasty when they have won Super Bowl?
Yeah, they've won Super Bowl, but they're pretty much every year near the top or at the top of the NFC heading into the postseason. It's just a decade of winning now is what it's been since Sean McVay took over back in 2017.
It makes sense to re-sign both guys. Obviously, phenomenal coaches. I feel a lot of the same. Yeah, I think if Stafford's back, they're going to be a contender next year. I certainly think they could be right back in this spot. They were in the NFC Championship game. Had they not muffed the punt, maybe they're playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday. But if Matthew Stafford only wins one, are we going to look at him a little bit in – and I'm just like spitballing here.
I see what you're saying. I disagree.
Well, that's fine. I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying in the Aaron Rodgers mold. Like, we look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented quarterbacks we've ever seen play the game of football. One Super Bowl appearance, one win. You feel like with the amount of great teams, those Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, those high seeds in the NFC, Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, those teams were stacked. One Super Bowl appearance, one win. If Stafford finished his career with one Super Bowl and one Super Bowl win, are we going to look at it as a little bit what could have been?
Well, here's what Aaron Rodgers will have over Matthew Stafford, his playoff appearances. Stafford with the Detroit Lions really didn't get to the postseason. At least not consistently. He had Calvin Johnson, maybe the best wide receiver we've ever seen, but he didn't have anything else.
But to that end, I'm saying, is it an excuse because he's with Detroit for so long why he didn't win, or because a lot of these teams have been loaded with the Rams last few years? They lost to your Niners. They lost to the Seahawks. They've lost to some teams that you feel like the Rams probably should have won some of these games.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I think the one thing you'll look at with Matthew Stafford's career is people will give him the Detroit excuse because when he got out of Detroit, he went and won one. Now he went and won one with Aaron Donald, who's potentially one of the best interior defensive linemen we've ever seen in football history, period. And he was wrecking teams that entire way. He also won one where he wasn't the MVP of the Super Bowl. Cooper Kupp was. But I do think Matthew Stafford, the fact that he left Detroit and then bang, won the Super Bowl, it shows a lot about what his career could have been.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to rip Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's an unbelievable quarterback. It just feels like you said potential dynasty. It's hard to call him a dynasty when by that I mean, they're not they've won a Super Bowl, so they're not the Buffalo Bills, but the Buffalo Bills have had one of the best winning percentages the last 5-7 years.
Sure. But put Matthew Stafford, or just this is totally contrary to everything we were talking about. Matthew Stafford instead of Jared Goff in the Super Bowl they went to and lost to the Patriots. Who wins that game?
Right, but that can't.
Of course not.
This is a what-if thing on his resume.
Of course.
Let's head to the NBA real quick. Brian Windhorst reports New York Knicks get a big win against the Lakers last night in the Garden. They're going to keep the core together, they think, ahead of the trade deadline. Been heavily linked to Giannis with the trade deadline being Thursday. They're currently number 2 in the Eastern Conference. Detroit is number 1. Boston's 3. Toronto 4. Cleveland 5. Philly 6. Should the Knicks be the favorite to come out of the East at a little bit over the halfway point right before the All-Star game heading into the playoffs? Right now, do you think the Knicks are currently instructed with this current roster should be the favorite in the Eastern Conference?
There are some nice teams in the East. I like the Knicks a lot, and I think that they would be making a mistake if they were to go all in to try to get Giannis, because what does that mean for the rest of the team? Like, Josh Hart's playing some good basketball right now. Carl Anthony Towns, I can kind of take or leave, but he's been good for them. But Jalen Brunson is the guy in New York, and he's so much fun to watch, man. And this is kind of the point I'm getting to: is basketball is better when the Knicks are good. And we, for 20 years, didn't see the Knicks be good. And then all of a sudden, over the last 3 or 4 years, it's like they've come back and they've had a resurgence of sorts. And I think if they're not the favorite, I wish they would be in the East, because I think they're a much more watchable product come NBA Finals time than just about anybody else.
The Knicks have been there before. They were obviously almost there last year, got taken out by Indiana. The Eastern Conference is interesting because in the West, where it's star-laden teams, like you think Luka, LeBron, and Shea and Chet and all these guys, and Jokic and Murray, they're stars. The Eastern Conference is like Brunson is a 1. You have questions of whether Cat's a 2. Kate Cunningham is a 1. Is Jalen Duren really a number 2 on a championship-winning team? Because Jason Tatum is hurt. Jaylen Brown, number 1, kind of missing a number 2 piece. Toronto's a collection of guys. I would not put the Knicks as a favorite because at the end of the day, I don't know that Karl Anthony Towns can get it done as a number 2. Detroit plays some really good defense. If they matched up, it'd be very low scoring. I still believe Philly at the 6th spot. They had some injuries early. Joel Embiid missed a little bit of time. And I know it's like every year we talk about Philly. Can they get healthy? Is Joel going to be healthy? But the fact that Edgecombe has really kind of emerged as a big-time rookie, Oubre's playing great ball, Maxi's emerged as one of the best players in basketball, not getting enough MVP love. If Joel Embiid is healthy, which is a major if, it's a major if, they have the kind of team that could give the Knicks, the Pistons, problems at the top of the bracket. I kind of oddly would throw some money on Philly right now.
It's weird that the Cavs actually have some of the most star potential in the entire East.
Well, they
like
were
Donovan Mitchell is a superstar.
And Mobley, and they were the favorite, struggled early, and now are playing great basketball. So
by the way, stinking Sam Merrill's on the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's actually kind of rootable team except for him.
And Keon Ellis just went there. Dennis Schroeder. The Cavs are a team to watch as well.
Sam Merrill, I will never forget that shot he hit against San Diego State in the Mountain West tournament.
Yeah.
Freaking perfect defense. Decides to chuck one up at the buzzer, make it. That was a heartbreaker. All right, you got one more for us, Sammy? Or we're out of time. That's it.
3.
It's San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. On the other side, the NBA trade deadline is coming up in days. What's going to happen? Where do we think Giannis ends up? That's next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Valley View Casino and Hotel, and let me tell you, you should be joining Valley View Casino and Hotel for Valentine's Day this year at their award-winning restaurants, including the Cafe, Patties and Pints, and San Diego's most romantic steakhouse, the Black and Blue Steakhouse. Plus, all ladies enjoying their meal at the Black and Blue Steakhouse will be offered a rose during the Valentine's Day Rose giveaway happening on February 14th. It's a Saturday. Enjoy all American and Asian specialties, handcrafted burgers, perfectly prepared steaks, fresh seafood, and luscious desserts, sure to tempt your sweet tooth. While you're there, don't forget to sign up for the Players Club. It is quick, simple, and free. And when you join the Players Club at Valley View, you're going to receive over $200 in free offers to use at San Diego's favorite casino. Talking about free offers to enjoy instantly, including $10 of more play, which is free slot play, $10 of match play, and a bunch of discounts to the restaurants, including Patties and Pints, the Black and Blue Steakhouse, Suites, Corner Market, and a free collectible t-shirt, as well as 2 free Maine lobster buffets when you upgrade from red card to blue card status. And the more you use your Players Club card on all your favorite slots or table games, the more rewards you'll earn, like complimentary dining, free hotel stays, luxury gifts, invitations to exclusive events, and more. So don't miss out. Visit Valley View Casino and Hotel on February 14th and indulge in a delicious Valentine's Day feast. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy along with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to come on then, fresh off a trip to Logan, Utah, where I'm sure it wasn't nearly as nice as it was in San Diego this weekend. It was like 85 degrees yesterday, Sammy.
It was hot yesterday.
What are we doing here? And then this Wednesday, it's supposed to get up to almost 90. Crazy. All right, I'm pulling up as we speak the odds for Giannis Antetokounmpo's next team, and stays with Milwaukee is still at the top, although none of us really think that's going to happen. Golden State is number 2, Chicago 3, Minnesota 4, Miami 5, New York 6, Cleveland 7.
Where would you like to see him go? Take away where you think he'd go of those teams.
I saw an article out this morning that was like Draymond Green says he would welcome a Giannis trade with open arms, blah, 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 to the Golden State Warriors, and that Draymond would come back next year and join the Warriors on a discount if Giannis is there. And look, that is fun. I would like to see Steph play with Giannis. I think that would be really cool as a fan of basketball to be able to watch that happen, because they're two of the most electric players in the game. And I think you have the kind of brute strength of Giannis on the inside mixed with the almost dancing-like grace of Steph Curry. I think that would be cool to see as a basketball fan. I would not hate seeing him go to New York. I know that it would be very disruptive to what they're building in New York.
It'd be a great TV.
It would be great TV, especially like you would have to keep Brunson in that situation.
Of course.
Otherwise it's worthless, but I think it'd be great to see Giannis in New York. And then the other one is Miami, just because I think that Giannis is a pretty funny guy and we know a little bit of his off the court life. And I think that'd be pretty funny to see. What does he say? Time to get freaky.
Freaky time.
He says, I'm a freak on the court and in the bedroom. Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said that. He said that 100% on an Instagram live. Giannis is 100% worth an Instagram follow, regardless of your NBA team.
He's a funny dude. By the way, him booing the crowd back, I kind of love it.
So I think
all he did was give you a championship, Milwaukee. You want to boo him?
There's some hesitation. So he's going to be leaving Milwaukee. The question is it by Thursday or is it in the offseason?
Right.
Because in the offseason, the kind of thinking there is the Bucks are sitting there like, we want draft picks. We don't really want players back. We want to rebuild and be able to kind of grow because, like, let's face it, the reason that Milwaukee built what they built is because they drafted Giannis. They built this team around him. Milwaukee's not some hot free agent destination that's going to compete with Miami or LA, New York, all these spots. They kind of want to know where the picks are going to be. So waiting until the offseason, you know who has bottomed out the rest of the year and where you're going to be picking. The Warrior angle, though, is kind of the same. The Warriors, their package today is kind of the same as their package 3 months from now. A lot of these teams' packages can get better because picks get freed up in the offseason because the NBA, you can't trade a gazillion picks. But the Warriors would make a lot of sense. If you're the Bucks, you send them to the Western Conference, Giannis and Curry together. I don't know if that team wins a title. Like, they become very interesting. They certainly become in that discussion. I just don't know if Podziemski, if Kuminga's able to stay. I think that they would probably want Kuminga back in the package, and you kind of found an offensive role for him. That could be lethal coming off the bench. The Knicks would be great. The Cavs are a team that actually has the resources to get it done. The problem, though, is if you're Milwaukee, kind of a rival, do you want to trade him to Cleveland? Donovan Mitchell. Again, it's like, if you're going to trade him in the Eastern Conference to New York, Cleveland, one of these teams, they're likely going to be dominating you for the next 3 to 5 seasons. So are you getting that good enough of a package back for him? But I'm excited to see where he goes. It'd be fun to see him traded by the deadline. And I just feel like these Luka, Micah Parsons, all these trades that have happened in the NBA and NFL has just completely opened up guys that we thought were untradeable, untouchable before. Now it just feels like we're on the move left and right.
Are you surprised to see Golden State almost 2-1 odds better than anybody else on this team?
I think it's because they're the best package. They can offer the best package right now.
And by the way, this is before February 6th. So like Sammy said, there's a chance he's with Milwaukee till the season when things get a little better around the league for teams to open up and trade, which is why I'm saying with Milwaukee is still the favorite before February 6th. But I was a little surprised to see Golden State pretty much jumping everybody, because I think Miami and New York were higher than Golden State on Friday. Chicago was definitely higher than Golden State on Friday, and now everything has flipped a little bit.
And it would be cool. It would be cool to see if Steph could do something at the tail end of his career, because you do feel like Curry with this
might be his last shot to win an NBA championship.
Right, and this iteration of the Warriors is you kept running the same group back. It feels like it's run its course, and infusing that with Giannis, you wonder. I mean, could he How many more rings could he win? It'd be great television.
And when you're thinking about NBA in playoff form, how much would the NBA itself love to have Steph Curry and Giannis on the same team?
Totally.
Ratings bonanza. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We'll get to some of these texts on the other side. Also, in the NFL, 9 head coaching openings coming into this offseason. All 9 have been filled. Which is the first to open back up? Let's chat about it next.
Let's get negative.
San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by California Air Resource Board. The last couple head coaching openings have been filled in the NFL. Clint Kubiak is expected to go to the Las Vegas Raiders after the Super Bowl as the OC of the Seattle Seahawks, and Mike LaFleur, former OC from the Los Angeles Rams, on his way to Arizona to be coaching the Cardinals. And the Aztecs lost by 5 in Utah State on Saturday. They'll be back tomorrow night taking on Wyoming live from the Mesa. Wyoming brings in a record of 13-9. Aztecs sitting there at 15-6. That game will be at 8 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760. Are you ready to cut costs? With a modern fleet, advanced technology, zero-emission trucks are cheaper to fuel and maintain, easier to service, and have a smooth and powerful ride. Visit arb.ca.gov/ZEV Truck Stop.
San Diego Sports 760, by the way. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John Schaefer, who I just saw walking by, is going to be joining you then. We were being watched, Sammy, on a smart fridge.
This was fantastic. I saw this.
This was so cool. So our buddy Eric DM'd me over the weekend and was, I think, catching up on Friday's show, and he sent me a picture. It was mine and Sammy's faces on his smart fridge. So I have a new challenge for everybody out there. If you watch the YouTube stream or the X stream, figure out the most creative place to put it.
You will get shouted out on air.
Absolutely.
If you text us where you're watching from. Eric, man.
Eric.
I heard Eric's a Chiefs fan.
He is a Chiefs fan.
What sounds like a real class act individual.
Mm-hmm. Eric is a cool guy. He actually, when the Niners were playing against the Chiefs, he offered, because he wasn't going to go, he was going to sell his tickets. He's a season ticket holder, I believe, in Kansas City. He said that he would sell me his Super Bowl tickets at face value, and I did not take him up on it. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I would have had to watch the Niners lose.
Which one was it? There's a couple to choose
from. It was
from.
the Purdy one.
Oh, yeah, that one was fun.
It was fun until it wasn't. Until it wasn't.
I had a great time watching that.
Sure you did.
I was actually talking to my buddies throwing a Super Bowl party. Shout out to Eric, by
the way. You remember who was the guy? Was it Xavier Smith who dropped the punt for the Rams?
Mm-hmm.
When he dropped that punt, and I'm like, does nobody remember what happened in the Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl game? The muff punt?
Yeah, and then MVS scored the next play.
Everyone forgets about that muff punt. Like, people call him the Xavier Smith play, the most botched special teams play in playoff history. No.
Well, I mean, that's not why you guys lost the game. But yeah, if you want to keep telling yourself that, that's fine. But I was thinking about this week, actually. My friend's throwing a Super Bowl party. And normally I don't go to Super Bowl parties.
I got to go to one of them too.
Because the Chiefs are playing. Usually it's the Kansas City Invitational. And we had to take a year off and let other teams have some fun and get a chance back in. But so my
funny
boys
way of saying the Chiefs suck this year.
My boys aren't in it this year, so I will be attending a Super Bowl party. But I haven't been to a Super Bowl party in a long time, because I would get invites and I would never go when the Chiefs were on.
You want me to give you a life hack for going to a Super Bowl party?
Okay.
You have a crock pot?
I think so, yeah.
So take a crock pot, put a bunch of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce in it, drop a bunch of Vienna sausages in there. Or I think they're called Little Smokies at the store.
Oh, yes.
Just barbecue sauce, those things, bring a thing of toothpicks, you're done. Everybody's favorite appetizer, and it's easy.
The Super Bowl parties, you get into big Super Bowl squares, always fun. The problem though with Super Bowl parties, the one thing is I like to, so there's the different kinds of Super Bowl parties. You have we don't care about football, we're here to watch the halftime show and commercials.
Which can be fun.
I think it's fun to watch it all. I want to watch the game though, even though the Chiefs aren't in it. I want to watch the game. There's some Super Bowl parties where it's everyone's just kind of standing around, football's on in the background. So I also want to watch the commercials. So it's kind of, Super Bowl parties are a little bit of a double-edged sword, because they can be fun, but they're also a little distracting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like Super Bowl squares. I think that's a lot of fun. Keeps you in it the entire time. Even if you don't win in the first quarter, you might win in the fourth. You might win the whole thing. I like Super Bowl squares a lot. All right, head coaching hires this year in the NFL. So Fox went through and graded all of these. I'm trying to figure out who wrote this. Ralph Vacchiano, NFL reporter with Fox. He ranked them like this: Mike LaFleur, dead last. Joe Brady, second to last. Then it went Jeff Hafley to the Dolphins, Robert Saleh to the Titans, Todd Monken to the Browns, Clint Kubiak to the Raiders, Mike McCarthy to the Steelers was fourth.
Get out of here.
Shocking.
What was top three? Harbaugh's one?
For me. 3 was Jesse Minter to the Ravens. 2 was Stefanski to the Falcons. 1 was Harbaugh to the Giants. So however you think they're ranked, those are all the jobs that got filled over this last couple of weeks here as we get ready for whatever's going to happen next year in the NFL. But is that 9? I think that was 9.
There were 9 head coaching openings.
9 head coaching openings that have been filled. What I want to know is this. In text line, we got about 15 minutes left in the show, so I want you in on this. 70470. Start your message with team. YouTube chat as well. What is the first job of the ones I just mentioned that will be reopened because the head coach only lasted a year?
Glenn will be fired from the Jets. He'll be gone.
But that's not one of the ones that I just mentioned. Of the new jobs.
Sorry. Of the 9. Okay.
Like, what is the first job of those 9 that gets reopened up?
I think Cleveland will get reopened up. I'll tell you why. Because they are, in my estimation, not going to be very good next year. Then they're going to be taking in a quarterback class with Arch, Jaden Mayava, Dante Moore. There is a bunch of guys coming out. Lenore Sellers.
Yeah, but Todd Monken has a lot of buzz around him.
I don't know. We call Todd Monken with a lot of buzz around him. I think Todd Monken is going to get a year to see if he can develop Shador, and if he doesn't, and the Cleveland Browns aren't very good, I think Todd Monken was kind of a best available hire, and you're going to want a head coach that you really deem of the future going into Cleveland, like going to build with your quarterback. I'm trying to think who else. Like,
I got one for you.
Let me hear it.
How about the Buffalo Bills?
I think the Bills. So, okay, if you take,
here's what I honestly think is happening with the Buffalo Bills. I think they gave Joe Brady a 5-year contract because they want to make sure he's staying on staff. But I think he knows full well that this is Mike Tomlin's job next year.
So Mike Tomlin will be the hottest head coaching candidate, as well as I think Mike McDaniel is going to kill it with the Chargers.
So do I.
And I think he's going to be one of the hot head coaching candidates.
I think Tomlin's back up for grabs in a year. I think Raheem Morris is back up for grabs in a year. He just got the Niners defensive coordinator job.
Yep, I think Morris will be back up there. Minter's not going anywhere. He's a young defensive mind. I don't see Joe Brady, because the Bills.
I legitimately think the Bills gave him a 5-year deal worth a lot of money because they want to keep him in the organization. They want him to stick around even when Tomlin comes and takes the head coaching job.
I don't think Stefanski will be fired the year after, because I think Stefanski's going to do a good job.
I think Stefanski's going to kill it with Atlanta.
The one thing I will say, though, there's a lot of pressure with that job because people kind of thought of, is it one of the most attractive jobs there is? Because that division is not like Bryce Young going forward. Saints are not a very good team. I know our Saints fan is going to lose his mind.
Sorry, Saints fan.
But
you got to be honest with yourself about Michael Penix. And is Michael Penix going to be able to stay healthy for an entire NFL season?
Well, and it's not like they have a quarterback coming in this year. So, if they don't win a bunch of games, he doesn't make Penix look great. He might have sold them on the job of that. I'm going to make Michael Penix a star.
Which I'm high on Penix. I just am not high on Penix's ability to stay healthy.
I don't know if I'm high on Michael Penix. I think he throws one of the best deep balls in the game. And it sounds crazy to say, even if his first couple years in the league. I just don't think you can not have a somewhat mobile quarterback and win. Look at Matthew Stafford.
What's crazy is, Michael Penix used to be extremely mobile.
Yeah, when he was with Indiana and then Washington.
Crazy mobile. And then he got a million injuries. I think he had both ACLs done. Both shoulders have been done since then.
Like a prime example of this to me is, let's look at the NFC Championship game. And Matthew Stafford's unbelievable. A great quarterback, one of the most talented we've ever seen. 4th and 4, end of the game. They play a zone coverage. That's not happening to Patrick Mahomes, right. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, even Joe Burrow, who's mobile enough.
Because you would have to leave a spy.
And Matthew Stafford, when the play broke down, had nowhere to go. It's not even his fault. He just is not a running quarterback. I don't know if that works with Penix. But to tie a bow on it, you said, all right, so you said...
I think the Bills. And I don't think it's Joe Brady's fault. Like, I think they have a really good season next year, but I think they wanted Tomlin this time. I think Tomlin said he wanted a year off. And so Tomlin's going to go do the TV thing or whatever he's going to do. And then they're going to say, hey, Joe, thanks for keeping the seat warm. This is Mike Tomlin's, though. You're going to go back to being the OC.
And
I think he knew that going in. This is all in the head of Ben Fletcher. I just think
I could see that. I could see it. Now, I don't think he'll stay on staff. He gets to the head coach.
I don't think so. A 5-year contract. I think they gave him that many years and that much money to maybe just be the head coach for the next 5 years, or maybe to say, hey, we want to keep you as the offensive coordinator once Tomlin gets here, but you're going to have to understand he's the head coach next year.
I just feel like if you're Joe Brady, you could give him the keys ripped away in a year for Tomlin. Now, I'll give you one that it sounds crazy because the organization never fires head coaches.
Steelers?
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy?
If you're the Steelers and if you have the season that a lot of people expect you're going to have.
He's also 9,000 years old.
He's older. Your defense is kind of aging roster. You wonder what's going to happen if they trade off some pieces, get draft picks. Again, if they bottom out a little bit and you kind of do a fresh break with Aaron Rodgers, we'll see if he comes back. it's going to be hard pressed to not get Mike McDaniel.
Look, he's 62 years old. He's not a million years old, but it does feel like in football years, Mike McCarthy, like the league has moved all the way past
It just feels like there's some guys who have evolved. Like
Right.
Andy Reid has evolved with the times.
I'd say John Harbaugh evolved
John
with
Harbaugh
the times.
evolved.
Jim Harbaugh has evolved with the times.
Mike McCarthy, if he had not won that Super Bowl, which he did with Green Bay,
should have won like 3 more.
Right. I mean, it's like we're still living off guys who won a Super Bowl a decade and a half ago. I don't think he couldn't get it done with Dallas, and Dallas had an unbelievable offense. Rico Dowdle went to Carolina and looked like one of the elite running backs in the game.
Ask Green Bay Packer fans, I will say, are some of the worst fans in all of sports. Like they hate their own team. It feels like it sometimes.
They hold them accountable. I respect Green Bay fans.
Ask them what they think about Mike McCarthy.
Right.
They think he's one of the most lousy head coaches ever because they only won 1 Super Bowl with those teams.
Well, and whatever you think about Aaron Rodgers, and he could be difficult to work with, obviously.
He's the most talented quarterback maybe we've ever seen.
He stopped calling McCarthy's plays. The reason that they beefed was they would radio in the plays and he would basically say, F that, I'm calling my own game, and was calling his own thing. And they won a lot of games doing that. What does that tell you about Mike McCarthy?
I didn't understand the hire at the time, don't understand it now, and I could easily see that job being back open in a couple of years. Or maybe they're bringing in Mike McCarthy because they think he's going to stink and they need a couple of years of bad and have someone easy to blame, which 62-year-old Mike McCarthy is a pretty easy guy to blame. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. We will close this thing up on the other side. Get you ready for John Schaefer. That's next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Sammy and I are in here about to fist fight over Spider-Man and who was the best Spider-Man.
Obviously, the answer is Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire had the best Spider-Man movies. Those 3 that he did. Sam Raimi was the director. Those were the 3 best Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man.
No. And that's not even a shot to Tom Holland. Tobey Maguire, he's a poker player.
I love Tobey Maguire.
Buddies with Leo growing up in Los Angeles. Definitely, Tobey Maguire is the answer. He's the only one that can actually shoot webs from him.
Sure.
He doesn't need a little mechanism. Okay.
I love those movies, man. Those are the first like big action movies I got to go see in theaters that were PG-13. I love those movies.
I don't like you talking crap on Andrew Garfield.
The Andrew Garfield movies are pieces of trash. I actually thought Andrew Garfield's best performance as Spider-Man was in the newest Tom Holland movie when he comes back and is Spider-Man.
That's just, first off, spoiler. I'm just kidding.
He's been out for like 5 years. It's not Mike Costa saying, "Oh, is that the one where Iron Man dies?"
You know what I just realized though last night? I was talking about on a little different note. Olympics Friday, right?
This Friday, baby.
I was not even thinking because it's in Milan Cortina that it happens overnight. So I can't in my updates say what happened because we will then spoil it for people.
I do think we're actually going to be okay on some of the hockey games.
Oh, because they're like prime time?
I think some of the hockey games are actually like at noon our time. We're going to be able to live bet.
Oh my God, live betting America? Just the amount of patriotism?
Say their first game, I think, is next Wednesday at noon. They're playing against Latvia.
My buddy and I were looking at some ice skating futures last night, and we're definitely going to need to bet that.
Like figure skating or
figure
like
skating?
skating?
Figure skating. Like, Johnny Weir's on the broadcast, and we got to make it all interesting. I'm excited. I think it's going to be.
Before we get John Schaefer in here, I'm trying to see.
Do you think there'll be a lot of figure skating talked with John for the next?
Probably not. No. Let's see. Thursday, February 12th. So that's next Thursday. Latvia versus USA. Local Eastern time is going to be at 3:10. So 12:10.
Who do we open up with?
Latvia.
We're gonna kick their ass.
Let's go. And then we got
Kachuk's
Denmark.
Definitely gonna have 2 goals on
Denmark on Saturday, and then on Sunday we have Germany. Dude, we're here.
Germany's got Draisaitl, but that's about it.
Yeah, we're gonna kick all their asses. It's okay, and all of them are watchable. So they're all those are at 12:10 our time.
That's right. I'm excited. We get ready to
go, dude.
Man.
Yeah, we're all excited about shalom skiing. We're all excited about slalom, which are 2 different things apparently.
Shalom skiing is going to be fun. We're
speed skating. Do we have an Apollo Ono appearance?
Who's our shalom skiing representative?
I don't know. Shalom skiing's not a thing. All right, John Schaefer's coming up next. We're getting out of here. Have fun with John, and we'll see you tomorrow coming up at noon.